Good morning. Happy Sunday. I'm just going to take a minute to get organized here and we will get started. Where am I? Let's see. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give this a couple of seconds for people to find this in their feeds. I'm a few minutes past 10 o'clock Eastern time, of course. I'm Zara Premji. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Markham, Ontario, Canada. And every Sunday morning, I do a Facebook Live. We call it Coffee and a Card. And that's because I think Sunday mornings are made for just lounging and enjoying your coffee. And so I always, I try to make time to craft on Sunday mornings. And so I thought, why not do a Facebook Live? So this is episode 9. And today we're going to be making a super cute card using the Wrapped Bouquet bundle in the mini catalog. So I'm going to get to the crafting in a few minutes. Where's my catalog? Because I wanted to show you where it is. But as you're jumping on, please do say hello and tell me where you're watching from. Hello, Sonia. Thank you for sharing. Good morning, Shams. I sometimes see names popping up on the screen, but I'm not going to call you out unless you say hello. So I'm not ignoring. I just want to only respond to those people that are saying hello and just honor your privacy if you wish for it. So, so it is Sunday, March what's the date? The 14th. Oh my goodness. I can't believe we're halfway through March. And today's daylight, we sprung forward. And I don't think that happens everywhere in the world. I could be off here, but certainly where I am, we sprung forward. So we lost an hour of sleep. And I have yet to look up the point of daylight savings because I'm not sure I fully understand it. So I'm not going to complain, but anyway, nonetheless, we got an hour less of sleep. But it's beautiful. It's sunny here. I actually opened the drapes in the kitchen and thought to myself, oh, it's so nice that everything is melting because it's been really mild here over the last week. And then of course I go up an hour later and there's snow on the ground. So I must have put those vibes into the universe. But I see a few friends joining. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Shelley. And Shams, you are setting up your craft area, so that's where you're sitting. Okay, that's a fair answer for where are you watching from. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing a card featuring the Wrapped Bouquet. And if you are in my Facebook group, I did a post there on Friday where I showed the Pantone colors of the year. I just loved the combination. And so I shared that and said, here's some inspiration for you if you want to create a card with it. And so I used that as my inspiration for my card. So I'm going to show you coffee and a card. We usually do one card. And so I'm going to be taking you through one card. There's a number of different steps, but I will walk you through that and I'll share some tips for using this bundle. And certainly if you have any questions or comments, or if you're loving the card or you don't like the card, I don't know if I want you to tell me if you don't like it. Although, you know what, that's fair. You can be honest. So yeah. Feel free to comment and engage and talk to each other and talk to me. I'm always watching the comments on my computer, which, speaking of which, I'm just going to make sure that I can see that. It seems that every time I go to do a Facebook Live, I get this like frog in my throat, and I'm clearing my throat throughout, but it doesn't happen for the hours before or the hours after. So I'm fine. I feel fine, so not to worry. Okay, let me say good morning to a few more friends. Good morning, Beth. Hello, Denise. And it's snowing in Port Credit too. Yeah. You know what? We were really enjoying the weather, but I knew it was kind of too good to last. All right. Does everybody have something warm to drink? Are you guys all drinking coffee? Okay, I'm going to flip this down and we're going to get started. Sorry, you're getting a little close-up of my face here. There we go. Okay, let's get that all sorted. Sorry for the shakiness. I should have warned you to look away before I did this. All right, hopefully you can see that. And I forgot to set up my little host code. So this is my shopping website. Everything that I'm going to be using today can be purchased from my online store. And if you use this host code here at checkout, excuse me, you will get an extra free goodie from me. So let me show you the card we're going to be making today. This is using the Wrapped Bouquet stamp set and coordinating dies. And I think it's on page 21 of the mini catalog. You got you a pot of tea. Oh, that's awesome. Good morning, Heather. I'm on my second coffee. I feel like when you lose an hour of sleep, more than one coffee is in order, at least for me. And you know what I discovered, or just realized, we have a Keurig. And on the Keurig, we have different buttons, so you can choose the different sizes that you want for your coffee. So if you're doing a small cup or a large cup, you can choose a button accordingly. And there's a strong button on the Keurig, which when we first got it, I was always using because, I mean, I love my coffee strong. And then I'm not sure what happened, but I forgot to, I stopped using it and then just rediscovered it yesterday. So, excuse me, all this time that I've been drinking my coffee, not as strong as I could have been, but luckily I realized it now. Okay, back to our crafting for today. So we are using the Wrapped Bouquet Bundle. It's on page 21. I feel like this is a little bit of a sleeper in the catalog. It comes right after the Hydrangea Hill Suite, which is gorgeous and all things spring and hydrangeas and beautiful sentiments. But I love this one as well. So I recently just ordered it and got it in my shipment last week. And I just thought I really wanted to use it. So in my Facebook group, as I mentioned, the color combination, the Pantone colors of the year are, what are they called? Illuminate and something gray, perfect gray. I can't remember. Anyway, so it's a yellow and a gray color. And so I see the world in Stampin' Up colors. And so I took that to mean Daffodil Delight and Basic Gray. So that's the inspiration for my card. And so let me just tell you a little bit about this stamp set. So it is a red rubber stamp set. There are 7 stamps in here, and they've got some nice sentiments as well as these 2 beautiful arrangements. And then they've got one here that looks like it's wrapped in newsprint, and then they've also got a stamp that you can use to create a newsprint type look, which we'll be doing today. And what what this reminded me of was when we were in Seattle. We went for the Stampin' Up incentive trip in 2018, was an Alaskan cruise. So we took the kids and we spent a few days in Seattle, and we were in the Pike Place Market. And there was a few vendors that sold these beautiful arrangements of flowers, and they were all wrapped in like newsprint or paper, and I just loved the look. And they were really inexpensive too. Like this stunning bouquet of flowers was maybe $15. It was just beautiful. So anyway, that is what reminded me of what I was reminded of with this stamp set, and so that's why I felt like I needed to have it. The inspiration for my card comes from the sample in the catalog. I've changed it up a little bit, but it's definitely the jumping off point. And that's something that I often do when I'm creating cards, is I go to the catalog and I look for inspiration and layouts and color combos, and just really kind of use this not just as a place to shop, but as an idea book. All right. Oh, that's a really good idea, Maureen. Maureen says that the flower wrap could be used as a baby blanket to wrap around a baby. Yes. Oh, that's a really good idea. See, I don't have that type of mind where I can look at things and see all of the different uses for them, but I certainly love hearing the ideas. So the first thing I'm going to do before I get started is I'm going to show you how to mount your red rubber stamps. Now, many of you, if you're an avid crafter, you already know how to do this, but I know that there are some people that still ask how I mount my red rubber stamps. So this is a trick that I had seen from another demonstrator years ago, and I found that it works really well. So when you get a red rubber stamp, you will always get this sticker sheet in there, and each of the sticker sheets is kind of cut in half. So there are 2 different pieces to it. So what you want to do is just peel off 1/2 of the sticker sheet and then punch your stamp out of the red rubber kind of frame thingy. I don't know what the word is. And then you're going to peel off this backing here, okay? So what I find used to happen with mine is I would put the whole thing down on the whole sticker, and then it would be hanging off the edges, and it just bothered me so much. But let me tell you, when you stick this down, it is stuck down. So you want to make sure that you've got it positioned well. And the sticker also serves as a guide for you to know what the image looks like and where it begins and ends. So it is kind of helpful to have it stuck down properly. So you're going to take your stamp, and then you're going to line it up with the part that still has the backing on it, okay? So I'm making sure that I'm lining up the edge of my stamp and that it matches. I really hope this works here. I'm going to pull this a little bit closer. So I'm going to make sure that it matches where the side with the backing still on. And once I'm pretty confident that that looks good, I'm going to set the whole thing down and just apply a bit of pressure. And so now my stamp is half stuck on to that label. So then you're going to peel it off. Okay, so you can see that I've done a relatively good job of getting the sticker on the stamp pretty well. And now that you have that done, you're going to carefully peel off the backing. Once again, this is really clingy, so you just want to make sure that you have this right. Oh goodness, this was not supposed to happen. Okay, so once you do that, you peel off the backing and make sure you have it flat so that when you go to put the backing down, it falls pretty flat and you don't have these little air bubbles. Okay, and that's how simple it is to put your backings onto your cling stamps. So the actual clingy sticker is new for us. I think that's something that came out a year ago, maybe 2, and it's fantastic. It sticks really, really well to your blocks. And when you want to remove your stamps from your blocks, sometimes it's almost too sticky, so you want to use your fingernail or take your pick tool to lift it off. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful. And good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Rita. Are you guys ready to get started? Okay. Yes, Shams, they do stick really well now because they're cling stamps. So they will stick really well to your blocks. So I'll show you, like here, when I go to ink this up, there's no way this is coming off. So what I do is I just take my fingernail and then I just kind of get it under the sticker piece there, and then that helps me to lift it off, okay? So let's get started with our card. I've got my blocks already mounted. I've got some of my pieces already done. We're going to start with the coloring. And I just inked up my, what do you call it? My memento. Gosh, word finding is not a skill of mine this morning. And I'm just going to blame that on daylight savings and my lost hour of sleep. Okay, I've just inked up my memento, so that should be pretty intense. I have my Stamparatus close by, so hopefully this will work, but if not, I'll just re-ink it and use my Stamparatus and go over it twice. Yeah, that's not too bad actually. Okay, so we've got that done, and then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to use the newsprint stamp to create a background on my card base. So I'm just going to grab my bone folder and let's burnish that. Now when you're creating a background, you want to have a piece of grid paper or something to protect your surface. Thank you for sharing the video, Rita. That means a lot to me. That's like the ultimate compliment, because that tells me that you think that the demonstration and my personality is such that you'd be willing to share that with your friends. So that's a really nice compliment. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to take this newsprint looking stamp and I'm just going to create a background here. You want to kind of stagger it a little bit so that it's not kind of too symmetrical. And some of the middle will get covered. So these spaces that you're seeing, don't be alarmed, they're going to get covered up, okay? Then I'm going to just take off the excess and I'm going to clean this off because I will need this again for the actual wrap that I'm going to use for the flowers, okay? All right, so let's close this up and we will get started with the coloring. All right, so I mentioned that my color inspiration was the Pantone Colors of the Year, which are, I would say, pretty close to these two colors, so the Daffodil Delight and the Basic Gray. But I did want a good pop of color on my flowers, so I'm going to be using Stampin' Blends in different colors. I'm going to start with the Magenta Madness, And I'm going to use that on these larger flowers. And once again, if you watched my Facebook Live on Wednesday, I don't know the names of different flowers, so please feel free to enlighten all of us and tell us what these colors are, what these flowers are, sorry, I should say. Okay, so I'm just following the lines of the stamped image to kind of just create some depth and dimension with my blends. I see some people will always color the outline, use the dark blend on the outline of their stamp and then fill in with the light. But I feel like if I were to actually look at this flower and the way that the light would be hitting it, there would be kind of some shadows created close to the center. So I'm actually just using the blends in the closer to the centers, but I guess there's not a right and a wrong way. All right. And then we're going to die cut this. So it's going to be popped up in that flower wrap onto the card. I probably should have worn my glasses. Hopefully I'm staying in the lines. If I'm not, I certainly can't see it. I don't know if you can. All right. So in other news, have you all heard of TikTok? I feel like I only know what TikTok is because my boys are on it all the time, more than I would like. But they've been telling me for months, like probably since the pandemic started, and since I started doing Facebook Lives, they kept saying, Mom, you need to do a TikTok. You need to do TikToks. You need to put your stuff on TikToks. And I thought, well, why would I put it on TikToks if it's mostly like teenagers that are you know, taking in the content? But they're like, no, there's all these moms that do these fun TikToks, and you should totally do your stamping videos on there. So yesterday I decided I was going to give it a try. I was actually using one of our kits, the You Are Amazing kit, and I decided I was going to make a card. I needed to make a birthday card. And so I decided to do my very first TikTok, which I'll be honest, the actual card making took me 5 minutes, but to actually make the TikTok took me like an hour and a half to figure out all the effects and how to add music and all of those things. So that was kind of my little accomplishment for the day, was to actually create my TikTok. So I don't know if any of you are on there, but if so, let me know and I'll follow you, because I love seeing content from people I know and people that have similar interests. There's a lot of really good recipes and lots of really good entertainment on there, but I'm trying not to get sucked in because I've already lost an hour of my life. I don't need to lose more. Okay, I'm just talking to myself. Let me see if there's any comments here. What's my TikTok? Oh, I think it's Stamp with Zara. And Shams, I'm seeing your question about the chamois. Okay, so you notice that I use the chamois to clean my stamps. I actually don't really use my Stampin' Scrub anymore. Once this came out, I just felt like it was really convenient because I keep it in a clear case, and so it stays fairly damp. And so when I want to clean, I literally just need to open the case, clean it off, and put it away. I do use my Stampin' Scrub sometimes if I have a lot of ink on a particular stamp, then I will use my scrub. But I just feel like it eliminates the step of me having to spray something and then wipe it twice on the wet side and the dry side. So I'm always looking for ways to be efficient and save time, and I feel like the chamois allows me to do that. And it's quite inexpensive. It's $11 and it'll last you a really long time. So even when it gets all stained, it still works really well. Okay, so we've got where's my other Petal Pink blend? Actually, I'm just going to use this one here. So I'm going in with some Petal Pink. This is just a really pale, soft pink. Okay, Shams, are you on TikTok as well? Because you'll have to share with me your handle. Is that what it's called, a handle? Okay. So we're almost done all the coloring here, and I have done some of the die cutting in advance, so you won't have to watch me die cut all of the little itty bitty pieces. Okay, I think that's it, right? That looks good. I don't know, there's a little flower in here. We'll just color that. All right, you're my first follower. Oh, thank you. My boys were asking, they're like, has anybody watched? I'm like, I don't have a single follower yet, so no. But thank you, thanks for following me. Okay, let's get out the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm gonna show you the dies. These are the Wrapped Bouquet dies. There are 9 dies in here. And there is this one here that's going to cut out that arrangement. And then we've got this one here that cuts out the one that has the wrapping around it. This one here is what's actually going to create the wrap. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you do that. And I better get my Post-it tape because after doing all this coloring, I don't want to lose it. Should we use the mini? Maybe I'll use the mini today. Okay, so I'm just going to open that up and grab my plates, and hopefully this will all fit. I might have to trim this. Nope, that looks like it'll fit. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to position this onto, and position the die around the stamped image, and I'm going to grab my Post-it tape just to hold this in place. Okay, so let's do this one here. All right, that's that. And then I'm going to grab my piece of crumb cake. So I'm using crumb cake because I just feel like it looks more like newsprint. And I'm going to take this one here. Now it just looks like a square on the one side, but you can see that there are these lines here that will actually create your scoring so that you know exactly where to fold it. Let's see, okay. Shams, I'm just reading your comment. You don't know how to use it either? Okay, we're gonna learn together. Okay, so that's that. We will get this little mini cut and emboss out of the way. And then I'm going to show you how, so I would suggest you stamp this after you actually cut it, because that way you can position where you want the newsprint effect to go. So I'm going to ink this up, and you want to stamp it on both sides, okay? Because if you, I don't know if any of you still get the newspaper, we certainly don't, but on a newspaper, you know that both sides are printed. So you want to stamp both sides here. We'll do that one. And mine's a little crooked, but, and I'm just inking that up really well. And I'm just going to stamp that side too. Okay, so I think that's it for the stamping. Let's pull this one out. There we go. And set that die down. And now I think we are ready to start assembling. So the designer series paper that I've used here is from the Well Suited. Is it called Well Suited? I better check this because I don't want to give you incorrect information. It is Well Suited designer series paper. This is part of our Well Suited suite, and it's more like masculine, so things that remind me of my husband's shirts. So it's a really cool suite, but they've got really neat patterns that are really versatile. So I'm using this grid one here because I thought it coordinated really well. And so I'm just going to, let me just stick that down so that we can start to put this together. Oops. Oh, that's exciting, Sean, that you're getting, when you say you're getting more serious about your Stampin' Up! Journey, like, I'd love to hear more about that. You don't have to share it here, but that's super exciting. Okay, I'm just going to stick this down because I don't need to do anything else with it. I'm not wrapping anything around it, and so I'm just going to put this down. Okay, are you ready to see how we fold this wrap? Okay, so let's see. Do I want it this way? Yeah, I want it this way. And then this part is going to get folded down. and this part here, and then I'm going to fold this across like so. Okay, so that creates the wrap for the flowers. The flowers will get kind of put inside here like so. So I'm going to use my liquid glue to stick this down. I just want to have, I want to make sure that it's pretty secure. Maybe I'm not using my liquid glue. Hang on. This does not want to come out. I'm going to need liquid glue for this. So, or maybe I can use glue dots. Let me try with the glue dots and see if these will work. And if not, then I'm going to go grab another liquid glue. All right, so you're just going to put a little glue dot behind here and stick that down. I think I could probably put one behind this little, the other little triangular flap. Whoops. Okay. And then we'll use, yeah, so you could use glue dots for this, no problem. Just to, you don't need to make it like totally stuck down, because if it was actual newsprint, there would still be ends sticking up. And then let's use the glue dots to position the flower inside as well. Yes, I do. I use my liquid glue quite a bit, actually, which might explain why it's finished, because I did use it to actually put the first card together. Okay, so see how that's coming together. There's still some other little pieces that we are going to use. I mentioned that our stamping was all done, but it's not, because I need a sentiment. So I'm going to use, this is the rectangular postage stamp punch, and I'm going to use the stamp that says "Love You Bunches." So there's also a really nice, there's a Mother's Day stamp in here. I'll show you what the other images say, or sorry, sentiments. There's "Happy Mother's Day, thanks friend, for you." I like the "Love You Bunches," and I'm actually going to put the "Happy Mother's Day" on the inside, and I'll make this for my mom. Okay, so just going to stamp that. Let's see if the other side is better. Yeah. So I'm just going to stamp that here. And then I'm going to stick this down onto my card. And I'm just going to lay this down flat. I'm not putting dimensionals on here, because I'm going to put dimensionals on the flower arrangement. Okay, so that can go here. And then I'm going to put these sprigs. So these are also done with the dies that coordinate with the stamp set. And I'm just going to set them, I'm going to just position them behind the flowers, if I can pick them up. Okay. They're very delicate, so you want to be gentle with them. Let's see, I'll put this one here. And then I'll take this little fern. And put that just peeking out at the top here. I've used two different colors for the greenery. So with these two here, I used Granny Apple Green, and then with the other fern, I used Old Olive. You could use the same one for both. I just had scraps of both of them on my desk, so I decided to use them. Okay, so now we've got this stuck down, and now we can set it down onto our card. And so, just going to pull out my dimensionals here, and we will put this down. So you can use your dimensionals to further secure the leaves on the back of your arrangement. And then you want to position it so that it's not covering your sentiment, obviously, and put it kind of fairly centered on the card. What do you think so far? Isn't that cute? I just love this little floral arrangement and the wrap. Oh, thank you, Denise. Do I use my Memento black? Shams, we actually don't have a sort of regular black anymore. We used to have the archival, but that retired. And so the only other black that I have is StazOn, and I don't use that as much, just because I find that it just is a bit, there's more involved in actually cleaning it. Like you need to use the Stays-On cleaner. But there are times where my project does call for it. So when I want a really, really dark, intense black, then I do use the Stays-On. But you can also use your Stamparatus and then just stamp 2 or 3 times and you'll get a really good intense black from your memento. So I hope that helps answer your question. So I'm using the Playful Pets ribbon or trim combo pack. So in this pack you get 2 different trims. So this one here is red with this white stitching on it. And then this black and white one here is my fave. So I always end up going through more of the black and white twine than I do of the red. You guys know I love twine. So I'm just gonna fray the ends a little bit here for funsies. Okay, there we go. And then we'll use a glue dot to stick that down. Let's see, and I want to just have it in such a way that it's, again, not covering the sentiment. And then you can trim the ends if you want, but I kind of like them long like that. And then the last thing we're going to do, I think, unless I'm forgetting something else, is we have these tiny little flowers that also come from the, what are the name of the dies called? The dies that coordinate with this are called wrapped flowers. So we have these cute little flowers that coordinate with it. And I'm going to pop those in my little arrangement. So grab this one here. I'm using the smallest and then the middle size one. And I'm just going to add these to the bouquet here. And then I will embellish them with little pearls. So this one can just go kind of in the center. I got this idea from the catalog. If you look at the picture in the catalog, my card is very much like that one in terms of the layout. So I will just put some little pearls now in the centers of the flowers here. Oh, there's a little bit of glue showing here. And you can just use your, if you didn't already, you can use your take your pick tool to just flip up the ends there. All right. Just to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay. And we'll put this one down there. And that is the finished card. You could sprinkle more pearls and jewels and things like that on here, but that is essentially the card using the Wrapped Bouquet. And I love it, and I'm happy that I got it finally, and you'll probably be seeing more cards in different color combos with this particular bundle. So hold on, let me fix that. So tell me what you think of it. I hope you like it. I'm gonna just take a minute to look at some comments here. Oh, Heather, it's one you don't have yet, but you just added to your order. That's always a nice compliment. Oh, thank you, my friends. I'm really glad that you like it. And yeah, it was, you know, if you have all your little pieces and stuff cut out, it's not too long to put together, and it's really fun and very pretty and lots of possibilities. And then even the sentiments in the stamp set are really versatile, so you can use them year round. So even though there's a Mother's Day stamp in here, there's so many that you could use all year round. So I just think this is going to be a really versatile one that you can use for all sorts of different occasions and people in your life. And so that's it. So thank you so much for joining me. And yes, Shams, I'm glad that you liked that I incorporated those colors. It was definitely one that I wanted to use on my card. So thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day and week ahead. And is it really, Shelley? Sorry, I'm just seeing a comment here that it's British Mother's Day today, so a very appropriate card. Okay, I had no idea. So happy Mother's Day to all of those that are watching from the UK, and this card's for you. Have a wonderful one, everyone, and we will see you back here on Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern for my weekly Wednesday Facebook Live. Have a good one. Bye.